It's been wrong in the past, even at those levels, but I do think it's a sure thing this time.
And I finally had a sure thing.
The stock market was a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing.
Sure thing.
It wasn't a sure thing.
It's a sure thing.
Amen.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
I don't think it's a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing. Sure thing.
Must be a sure thing, but I don't think it's a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Nature, everybody wants to rule the...
Dude, I've got to try add more color into my video.
Yeah, I can tint it up warmer. Like, but did you look at the ones that you put up versus the ones that I put up? Like,
Yeah, but I saw Comedy Lounge do one, and I've got like a mate that does ads and films, and you know what I mean. And he was like, "What is happening with the color gradient?" Like,
well,
everyone
the
that
color
goes-
the color in the ones that you've put up is grey. Like, it's grey. The ones that I've put up are a lot warmer.
Have you got to check the Comedy Lounge ones because they've got it's either red or grey. I'm like, whoever's doing it doesn't understand the gradient, color grading, and like so it's like every camera is just set up and they don't realize consistency. They got 3 cameras, one's red, one's yellow, and one's grey.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so jarring to watch. But then our videos have no warmth.
They do have
looks-
warmth, man. I've put in so much warmth there. Like,
but the thing is, I've got to go on the Razer camera and change the way it's taking it in because it looks like concentration camp, where it's like, you know, those footage where there's a guy in the striped jumper and he's about to be executed.
Yeah,
that is me talking, and you can see all this rasp. It looks like a gnarled dog toy, chew toy. It's all like my face. It's got all these weird things. But anyway, what I'm saying is maybe that's what will help us go viral. A more warm hue.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Let me look. Let me look because this is
No, but dude, it's you know what the problem is? It's just fixing it, right? I've got to log into the Razer thing. I've got to change it. I don't have training for this.
What?
You know why?
What are you? I'm trying to tell you, man. All I'm saying is that the ones that I've put up, you are tinted quite warm. The ones you've put up, you've not done any color grading.
What about the hard yarn ones? Look good.
The hard yarn ones? Look the same as my ones, man.
Well, I can tell because when hard yarns went up, I've got a lot of DMs of like people sending shots of their boxes and boobs. No, I'm joking,
Okay. But are the ones that they're talking about the ones that you've put up where you've done no color grading, or the ones that I've put up where I've done lots of color grading?
I'm comparing it to hard yarns, and I'm flooded with messages of just what is a girl dick pic called?
A box shot.
A snatch.
Snatch snap.
A snap. Dude, girls don't send. They would never do that because it's a different type of love. Someone explain it.
What are you talking about?
Well, someone told me, like, a taxi driver told me, guys love this thing.
Someone who gave you a 1-star rating on Uber.
And he said some other thing, and I go, that's so profound, mate. And I go, turn on my bubble bath, my foot spa, and I'll continue this convo. I want to do a little bit of Taylor Swift karaoke. Dude, building, it is so funny watching, I find it funny looking into other Ubers. Like, imagine looking into one with karaoke. No, I'm saying because to me it's like driving Miss Daisy because it's always a refugee or a migrant driving a white person. And I see them, and I find it so offensive.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying that you see someone being driven around. It's like a queen and a horse and cart. I find it so racially offensive watching Ubers that you sit in the back seat behind them and then you're driven around like a lord, little Lord Fauntleroy.
Dude, this is again a contradiction from before when you were like, "I'm getting 1-star reviews. Fuck them. I'm holding the nets."
Yeah, but
I'm
no one
touching them.
understands. This is what I'm finding when I'm hanging out with civilians. I don't have any politics, and they get so confused because they go for a piss, and then they come back and they hear me now talking about veganism in a very positive way, and they're like, "Weren't we talking about the Ukraine butcher window thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're talking about anything. Nothing means nothing, you dumb fuck. I'm not invested. I tapped out of this game 10 years ago. I couldn't give a fuck. I said, I have not got a dog in this fight. I'm watching it burn. So I'll just say whatever. But what I'm saying to you, it is, do you not feel rude when you've been driven like horse and cart around town with someone in front of you driving you around? Who do you think you are? Get up the front and help control the steering wheel. Help. Oh, dude, unbelievable. This has just reminded me. My boys have been driving.
What do you mean? Which one? The older one?
Both of them.
Oh, no.
I let them into the driver's seat and steering wheel, and we're doing it in the car park, just doing laps, and I'm going faster and faster. Then with the younger one, I took him out on the roads. I'm suspended. I drove. He's on the road. He lost his mind. He was like, it's too fast. There was a car coming. I was helping a little bit with the steering wheel, but he's like, he was controlling. And I'll tell you, you never get a more disgusted look than a housewife with a poodle spotting a 4-year-old at the wheel of a Captiva going 80 Ks in a 40 zone, suspended. I'm like, that truly is 2 fingers up to the bureaucracy. Catch me if you can, motherfuckers. I've got a toddler driving my car during a suspension.
This is not a fight against bureaucracy, man.
Allegedly, we didn't do any of this. Allegedly. Comedy.
But you're mistaking a fight against bureaucracy with just like safety.
Okay.
This is just safety issues.
Well, people don't realize the only sustenance on this planet is risk. So removing risk is removing life. So everyone that's all nesting, these nesting instincts that all these fuckheads have, is just denying them the real and lived experience of being alive. Risk is the only thing that's anything joy on this shithole. Everyone's going, oh, how good is it? We're in a safe nest and we work at Rio Tinto and nothing happens. I'm like, way to fucking eliminate every single upside of being alive. The joys of being alive is hurtling down a highway with a toddler at the wheel, screeching.
Did you see that KPMG partner who was found dead in a Gold Coast National Park?
Nah, did he kill himself or was he taken out?
Yeah, he did. But I just read it. Was like, what's going on? Like, how did he die in a national park? And they didn't mention anything at all.
Yeah.
One of the footnotes was that there was also a 75-year-old man's body. Who went missing, by the way, on July 31st, which is quite a long time ago.
Wait, is this Brokeback Mountain stuff again?
No, it's not, because then I got to the bottom of it, and there was they ruined the obfuscation when they have like a lifeline message at the bottom. They always have to put that in. They don't mention a cause of death, but at the end they're like, if you or someone you know is struggling, please call Lifeline on 1314.
They always have that because they go, look, the family would like privacy at this time, and obviously you go, how'd he do it?
What happened? What did he have to do with the 75-year-old?
Everyone is so snoopy. If someone passes away, your first thing is to get the goss and going, oh, did he take a coward's exit? Well, how did he get out? How did he get out?
It's a brave cunt's exit, man.
Dude, but you always see the lifeline message, and you could get screwed if it's just an editorial error and you've actually been killed with your toddler at the wheel. That is suicide in a way, in a car crash, because a toddler was driving a car at 130 k's on a freeway. That's very much would be a suicide, really, if you broke it down. But I do love it because you have you're better off to say, because Lifeline. Then I always imagine a somber thing like National Park, say, hung on a tree, but it might have been more dramatic and he might have been more artistic in his exit. And I think like you're doing him a disservice, because if you just see, Lifeline, then you're like, oh, what a puss. Like he didn't do something crazy where you get ripped open like a Christmas bonbon or tie yourself to 2 trains, 2 different trains going different speeds.
It's pretty brutal that there's a full article about this guy and then there's a little footnote. It's also a 75-year-old man who went missing 6 months ago. He was also found, by the way. Don't worry about it though.
I like that that he's a KPMG employee. Like they didn't actually lead with his name.
A partner.
Oh, dude, so basically that is the arrogance of these working people. He's irrelevant, right? He's KPMG, so a lost soul. But he thought that he deserved a caption versus the homeless guy, who actually is closer to living a real and meaningful life, engaged with the universe. And he's just ignored because he probably ran out of food out of there while he's doing meth bongs. No, but you know what I mean? So, he's worthless, but this fuckhead that went the coward's route and eliminated all risk.
Brave cunt. He finally took his life into his own hands.
Dude, and he did audits, deserves a mention in the paper. I'm like, you lost the privilege to be acknowledged the moment you became an employee. Number. Anyway, well, that's sad, and I send his commiserations to the family if you're listening to this. Sorry. I feel bad, dude. Why can't you? That is actually. So, how'd they find him so quickly? Bushwalker find him?
Man, I don't know, to be honest. It just they'd been looking for him for a little bit. They said one of the worst things you can read in a missing persons report. He had been behaving erratically.
Oh well.
oh no.
You know what? You know he was erratic. He kept yelling, "I've wasted my life. Why the fuck did I work here? This is an absolute fool's errand. I was lied to from the beginning. Why was I put into this conveyor belt of a nightmare?" It was started very young age in primary school, high school. It's been mind control. I've been pushed into becoming a cog in the box. The question is, who was found first in the forest? The homeless guy was probably found, stepped over.
I don't know that he was homeless. He was just old.
They probably found him because there was... Whoever was paying for the search party is who's important, so they would have just bagged him up and kept looking.
You're out searching for this KPMG partner, and then you stumble across a body. You're like, guys, oh my God, I think we found him. And then you roll him over, and you're like, who is this old cunt? Who the fuck is this? That must be so upsetting, man. That's very upsetting to find a second body, which is not the body you're looking for.
And if you're a search and rescue and you're playing for the helicopters and you're out on ocean and you find another body... You're like, shh, this is just between you and us. Keep looking, man. We can't fucking waste time bagging up this cunt. I want to find my wife.
Why wouldn't you be like, no, this is the guy. We can all go home.
Yeah.
You're on the radio like, did this guy look fucking terrible for his age? Is there a chance he looked terrible?
Dude, this was my favourite story. My favourite story, my son was telling me it. He got it off YouTube. Who says, YouTube's a waste of time. And I'm like... I find that insane. You know, anything that interests you is not a waste of time. If you're getting something out of it in this horrible world, it's a joy. But anyway, he told me that the classic one, which was the search and rescue party, where they were searching for a guy and he joined the search.
The guy joined the search looking for himself.
And then on day 2, they eventually said he worked out that they were looking for him. So he'd been out there. It was such a poorly organised search that he was looking... They were looking for himself. He never really worked. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo!
I reckon he figured out like day 2 that they were looking for him, and he was like, I'll just keep my mouth shut. This is actually too embarrassing to put my hand up. I'll keep looking.
You're actually just liking the sense of community and the free muesli bars?
Yeah. You got to build up the courage, man. It takes you a whole extra day to build up the... You would have been contemplating like, maybe I'll take my high vis off, and then I'll go back behind that tree, lie down, and pretend to be asleep.
It's like one of those lies that escalates and it gets more and more stressful. And you're like, initially you're just like, well, my wife never comes hiking with me. Now I've got a group. I'm just going to do it. And then eventually you're near the waterfall and they're getting more distressed, going like, he's not going to survive. He would have been out of food by now. And then you're like, oh, this is getting real serious now. And then you've got to, you know, the best is because you're only with 4 people. You run off, and then another group finds you, and then you just gaslight them and say, "No, I wasn't." And they go, "We definitely had a muesli bar with you near the water fountain on day 3." And you're like, "Fuck off! I've been out here fighting off dingoes.
I've been lost." They're like, "You look incredibly well fed for someone who's been lost 3 weeks." Dude, you've got granola crumbs down your front. What's going on? You have little granola crumbs stuck in the Velcro of your hide.
Dude, someone's done that. I saw it on Today Tonight where they pretended that they got broke down and they survived in the desert, and it was just made up. They basically just drove to the desert and then just roll around in the dirt for a little bit and then said, they ran out in front of a truck. "Oh my God, thank you. I've been everywhere. I was in Wolf Creek. I saw a murderer. I ate a dingo's pussy. I'm a survivor. And then they fly him off and they go, you have been amazing well. 48 days in the desert. It's weird because we checked your mobile phone and you were at a TAB just yesterday, gambling away your business's money.
That's so crazy, man. You have 80% battery.
Dude, it's so good. You had a full charge? Yeah, that's what I like because technology kills you now because they've got all the tracking of vehicles and obviously your mobile tracks where you are. So, you know that lady that poisoned people with mushrooms? It was like...
She's Google searched like mushroom forager's guide to murder.
How to conceal a murder. And then the worst thing was her mobile was pinging off the towers. So they just went straight away to the dump site where she dumped the mushroom dryer. And she was like, how'd you find that? And we're like, Vodafone, we can see where you were. We can even see where you were pacing around in the laundry trying to work out what you were going to do. You stupid idiot.
Dude, that's what I was thinking about last night, man. Like, why not build a Faraday cage into the back of your car? Like, I was driving in the van. I was thinking, man, like, it'd be pretty good to tinfoil the inside of the van and just go around picking up Lime bikes, take them home, take them into my tinfoil garage and just begin dissecting Lime scooters and Lime bikes.
Oh, mate, I love that.
Selling off the parts.
I love that because I always thought, obviously they've got the Limes, but there's to just collect them up for no reason. And then you're not really doing a crime if you just load them up in a car and just keep dumping them off in the middle of the desert. Just to be annoying.
Yeah. If you've built a Faraday cage into the back of a van, so like whoever's at Lime is watching the tracking for everything and they just keep seeing little blips disappear as they get loaded into your fucking Faraday cage tinfoil van. And it's gone. They're like, where the fuck did these? We've had 300 go missing in the past week.
If you're not communal, you can actually sabotage everything. If a guy just buys a van and keeps driving them away from the side, and that's what you're getting a rush from.
Because they blink out of existence as they go into the Faraday cage, and they blink back into existence 500 kilometers inland.
Well, mate. They always think that you're going to try profit from it, but just driving them off into annoying, like near the pinnacles in Perth, is so fun.
Dude, that's the misdirect, man. That's the misdirect. That's stage. It's part one of the Prestige, the misdirection.
Oh, mate.
And you drive them all the way out. You got 300 of them. You drive 250 out into the desert, and then another 50 you've put into your garage. They're too busy dealing with the other 250 that are in the middle of fucking nowhere.
What's stopping you from just going on Facebook Marketplace and just selling those helmets? And you just paint them a different colour.
That's a very reductive way to go. I love it.
And you just end up, you just got a helmet business online. You just collect Lime scooter helmets. And you're like, hey, this isn't, and you go, yeah, it's Reds. And you're like, hey, when this chipped off, it was a Lime scooter helmet. And we go, yeah, we got a pool. We got a dyeing pool. I put dye in my pool and I just dunked them in. But they do rely on you being, because the other thing you can do with all these things, hire bikes, your Lime scooter's still here, but doesn't work. Because I've bashed it with a rock. Or I've just smashed it repeatedly against the street side. Why'd you do that? And you're like, well, because I'm in a battle between karma and myself, and I thought I'd fuck up someone's business. You know what I like to do? You know, a lot of people go into those rage rooms where you hit stuff.
Yeah.
Why not go around with a baseball bat and just fucking take out Lime scooters? You have a tough day at work and then just go and bash the console. I want to be rich, mummy.
I think it's very funny that they've got their little map with all the blips on there and they're just slowly disappearing into a Faraday cage van. I've got no idea where they're going. And then you're in the back, man. You're mobile. You're like, it's like the toy box killers, but for Lime bikes. You're just in the back taking them apart, taking out all of the useful components.
Dude, I like the thought of them being like a stress. You go, oh, you mean stress balls, stress bike. So if you have a bad day. And they go, no, they're Lime scooters. And you're like, no, if you hit them long enough, the light eventually stops flashing and it makes me feel good. I just keep hitting that console.
They see all these blips start reappearing again, and they go to pick up their Lime scooters to recharge them, and it's just a GPS module. It's sitting on a lawn somewhere hundreds of kilometers away. They're like, what the fuck? Where's the rest of the bike, man?
Dude, you know how you can combine Mentos with Coke and create a reaction?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that battery, if you got to write TikTok, you could do something crazy combining that battery with something else to create an explosion or a fire.
Yeah, your Faraday cage garage, like that you've backed up your Faraday cage van into, and it's a microwave and a lithium battery.
If you just add 3 Mentos to a Lime bike, it creates a firework. And then basically you work out the science of it, and people are going, dude, teenagers are losing their mind going, we're lime bombing. We're going lime bombing. You add 3 Mentos to a lime and it creates a fizzing sound. Brrr. I did a bit. I've got to tell you this bit. Unbelievable. I had to go in a contest and I did a bit on cancer. And it went bad. And I go, what? Someone have cancer in the room? I go, I smell cancer. I smell severe. I smell cancer. Show yourself. And the guy said, yes, I've got it. Stage 4. 10 weeks to go. Worst crowd work ever, dude. And then you get hacky lines. I'm like, well, his wife's there. I'm like, someone's on the market soon. Hey? And like, and you know what's crazy? I'm in there doing that. Oh, in Perth, you don't go to Disneyland. You go to Adventurewood. It goes all right. I win the open mic contest. But what happened? The woman that is the wife of the cancer guy who's on the way out, she was there the week before in the semis, and I had the thing on dementia, and she came up to me and goes, actually, that was funny. I don't know why the crowd went so bad.
Oh.
She goes, my mum had Alzheimer's and so did her twin sister. And I go, oh, that's amazing. 2 twins with Alzheimer's just keep like losing their shit, thinking it's a reflection. Do you know what I mean? They wake up and think like, who put a mirror in my room? Trying to touch each other.
Did she hate the cancer stuff the week after?
They loved it. They loved the dementia. She came up and goes, I don't know why they're laughing. She goes, it's great. Your dementia bit, every day's an adventure with dementia. She goes, I loved it. And she goes, it's just so good to finally have some fucking levity add to it.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, no shit. I'm like, and then she said the next week, but I'm saying talk about horrific impact on one family. First week, I'm attacking her mum who's got Alzheimer's with her twin.
And then she brings her husband along. You got to see this guy.
You got to see his crowd work.
He'll cheer you up in your final moments.
And I said, I could tell with that hat, you're on death's door, baby. And I'm like, what a horrific experience to be traumatized in the semifinals and then the final to bring her husband along and me to weed him out as a type 4 and then try to do crowd work off it to win a trophy. No, but I like that idea. You know, I've been trying to work on that the Alzheimer's twins.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny, but then someone argued like they only lose their short-term memories, so they would recognize each other.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah, the memory goes like retrospectively, right?
Yeah, retro. And I'm not going to give away, but I'm saying I'm doing that bit, but then I was like, oh, well, that explains why it's not working. It's not the fact that it's just awful area. It's just not really nice.
It's a big buy-in on the premise.
Dude, I've got such bad premises at the moment because I'm going cancer into dementia. Tough fucking going.
Very tough, man. Yeah. You've picked 2 diseases that affect a lot of people as well. Everyone's had an experience with.
My dream is cancer, dementia, and then friend zoned by a pedo. If I can get that back off Luke. That's a nice can.
It's not Luke's, man. That's not Luke's. That's crazy. Did you bring it up to him? He didn't have a premise, man. He had nothing.
Well, mate, we've spoken about it a lot, and
I bet.
He won't give it to me, and instead
It's yours, man. It's yours. He didn't have anything.
Do you know how I told you that Comedy Lounge had joke banned me? Then the guy that makes the clips, he made a video of the Teddy doing the banning thing, and I was about to upload it, and I thought, I better check with the place to see if they're cool with it. And they go, we heard you've been telling everyone about that you fake ban. I'm like, yeah, it's just a joke, dude. I'm like, I'm glad I ran into you because I was about to upload a clip. like doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You forget. For me, the humor is me being neurotic, and there was much ado about nothing. But in another way, it does often when you do a joke, it can make someone else look bad, and you forget that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You can forget that. You forget their casualties with every joke, but they must be. That is what I find the moral conundrum of comedy. There must always be a casualty and a victim in every joke, and people seem to think that that's not true.
No, it's not true, man. You can be nice to people and it's fine.
I can't wait to laugh. Being uplifting, talking about hope and opportunity.
Not being uplifting. I'm just saying you don't need to. If you don't have a victim, like you can do that. It can be funny with no victim.
Oh, mate, you know what? Nothing better than 90-minute show uplifting you.
I'm not saying it has to be uplifting, man. I'm just arguing the point that it doesn't need to have a victim. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a victim. I'm just countering your point.
Well, what I'm saying to you, it's like having a barbecue at your house and not offering any meat. I mean, yeah, you can eat. You can have salads and fucking stupid melon, and you know what I mean? You have corn on the cob, but no one's going home unless there's a dead corpse being roasted, baby.
I was thinking about that old guy who was found, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I'd been thinking about was those Life Begins at 50 community places.
Oh my God.
There's a big one in Southport. It's like a big fucking high rise, and it's a over 50s only.
Oh, dude, I love those retirement because we've been talking about trying to get in there, right? I wanted to see whether I could go into a retirement village like Mrs. Stout and I think it's a good life.
Yeah, dude, I think it would be great, man. I'd love to live there. That'd be so quiet.
Can you imagine dominating a 70-year-old in tennis and just getting a second life where you're winning bowls, you're winning charades, you're banging all the women because you're the youngest guy they've ever seen.
Giving out that young dick.
Dude, and then someone threatens you and you beat the shit out of the whole gang because they're all 90. And you're just like, I told you, never raise your voice to me, Trevor. And he's like, he's still got a job. He shouldn't be living here. We saw him. He works at KPMG. He leaves in a bus and then he comes back and bullies us. And he's just like, give me some more Jell-O, you fucking old man. Give it to me, old man. You know that Seinfeld bit? Give me the bag. Give me that bag.
Yeah, with the marble rye.
You old bat, give it to me, you old bat. But you could reign supreme. You just go in and look. It's embarrassing, but no one's in there except for you. Maybe sometimes family visits and go, who's that young guy threatening someone on the tennis courts? And you're like, oh, that's Wolfie. We don't know if his passport's been forged. We think he's liar because he seems to have kids living in the venue, like in 3 or 5.
That has to be the saddest consolation prize for people who have wasted the first 50 years.
Yeah.
Convincing them that life begins at 50.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because to not be awoken, it's like trying to give someone a second chance, like a second chance raffle. Mm-hmm. It's like, I think at 50, you should have really become cognizant to the fact that you were alive earlier and made some fucking moves. To leave it that late is sort of like trying to kiss the love of your life an hour before you die. Like, you missed it. Do you know what I mean? You finally send her a message and go like, hey, I've got to be honest, I don't just want to be friends. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, wait to tell me on your deathbed, fuck. She comes in to bring you a chocolate. Thanks, Jeff. You've been a good friend. And you go, hey, just to be honest, I wish I had been able to root you, but I don't have the self-belief to make a move. Life at 50, death at 50, more like it, man. What are you going to do at 50?
You're making those over 50 communities are like fantasy villages.
Yeah.
Where everyone together is buying into this insane lie that life begins at 50, so they can all walk around and be like, yeah, it's great to only have us 50 pluses in the building.
Yeah. Dude, and they create this own little mini world. I'm like, it should really start again where you're in diapers and you learn to walk again and you go through the whole thing. But I know what you're saying because you basically just excommunicate yourself from society and pretend that you're starting again.
It's all of you together who have been sad cunts for the first 50 years have decided that if you band together, You can create a little Renaissance village for yourselves.
Yeah.
Where there's no one who will beat you at tennis because everyone's fucking old.
And you can't really change your personality that late in the piece because you've worked at KPMG long enough to rob you of your soul. So it doesn't just reappear. Do you know what I mean? You could be a sourpuss and you can see it all the time because most people are joyless. There's so many people are humorless and have no fun in their bones. And these are the forgotten wasters. These are the type of people that life begins at 50, is praying that they can get some charisma and some spunk late in the piece just with a mantra. And I'm like, dude, you're boring. It's not going to improve.
It's quite late to be having a huge realization that you're not happy.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. It's like, hey, life begins at 50. You finally slowed down. You've stopped working that fucking shitty HR job.
Yeah.
And you suddenly realize that you have nothing.
Dude, and the thing is, you can't change your temperament. There are cats in this world and they're dogs. They're the fun-loving, exuberant dog personality, and then there's the cat that's way too serious and sensible and thinks the world is important and that this means something. And those people are the life is 50 because what happens is they're so confused because they buy into the mantra of get a job, get a house, do this and it'll mean something. And they reprimand and they keep being hall monitors. Be more like us, do this. It will pay off in the end. And around 50 is when the thing glitches and they start to realize, hey, this sucks. This is fucking sucky. And then they've got to go into these little simulated communities. And guess what? At 60, they're still fucked. Do you know what they do? They move at 60 to a life begins at 60 village. And then at 70, a life begins at 70.
Well, that's the other thing I was thinking, dude. Like maybe we should be segregating further, you know? Like we should have like a high rise just for gamers.
Mate, well, I think what you need, you should separate humans. Like there should be people that have sense of humans and the fun police should be moved away because they would realize how bad their life is. We're going, slow it down, guys. Stop running on that platform. Be more serious. If they didn't have anyone that's a clown or fun, how bad their grey world is. And they just should deserve it because they never, ever add colour to any of our existences. So why do they get the joy of a fun kid skipping on the street? They want that, slow it down, you could slip, you could hurt your life. They're not entitled to humour. They don't deserve it.
But that's what I'm saying, man. That's the answer, dude. Like further segregation.
Segregation, dude.
Like building up an entire city around Archerfield Speedway. A whole city built around a burnout pad.
So, yeah, that's what I love. And then you've got the sensible people. They live their thing and nothing happens and no one runs and no one slips and everyone lines up normally and everything happens. And eventually people are climbing through the gate to come to Speedway Partyland where it's actually fucking fun because all life's about risk. And the removal of risk is the removal of life. That's the only joy is to experience the edge of existence. Do you know what I mean? By risking it all.
Well, I think that's what we were talking about ages ago with there not being any real genuine relationships when you aren't risking your life, when you're not facing death with somebody.
Yeah. Well, but people seem so satisfied and proud of the elimination of risk, which is effectively the elimination of being alive. Like if you do not have any peril, do you know, if you don't have any jeopardy, it's not something to be proud to have a house paid off in the suburbs and have a car paid off and have everything organised because you've actually never come to know yourself. I was saying it to this Uber driver, and I think it was one of the guys that got a 1
One of your 1 stars.
I said, only through suffering can you come to know yourself, sir. And he goes, oh, very profound. Whatever. No, I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, you're telling Buddhism back to some Buddhist guy.
I know, but I said suffering. Suffering is the only way you come to know yourself. And then he was very equipped. And then I said, actually, I suppose life is suffering. That's a Buddha thing, right? I'm re-quoting. And he was, I rambled on and ended up getting a 1 star. But he was like, oh, I'm very sorry about what's happened with your divorce because I was in there. And I said, oh, no. I said, I've come to realize that trauma is the only thing the only thing of value down here because it adds further and further levels into your persona. Like pain is the only way you grow. Everything else is a fucking waste of time. I said, if you should be constantly in trauma, to become the best version of yourself, chasing pain, chasing trauma, because it just hones you, it sharpens you like a samurai sword. Anytime you're happy is a wasted opportunity to learn more skills. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you should never, ever be happy until you leave. It should just be constant suffering and pain as you grow into a fucking superstar. Anyway, it didn't really make much sense, and I do understand his 1-star review, but I had a few drinks and I thought I was on a roll, dude. I thought I was waxing lyrical. It is true, though.
People adjust to their people are very good at adjusting to their situation, right?
Can you be your best version of yourself if you live a comfortable life? You can never know what you might have been.
Well, no, I don't think you can.
It takes a war to understand that you're a hero or a coward.
Yeah.
Until then, you just fantasize that you're a hero. But when the bombs start dropping, you can finally know your mettle and what you are. And that's why you need this in life.
What about the other way? Like, you're in a
realizing you're a coward.
No, you're in a horrific situation. Like, do you think that they have a Xinjiang internment camp employee of the month club?
It's like gallows humor. I reckon people have never laughed as much as in a foxhole as people are getting slaughtered. I think it's you want to see comedy, go to Gallipoli and rip out a joke there as someone runs past going, my eye, it's burning. And you rip a joke. I tell you, you cannot crush like you can in a foxhole. You experience the best of life in suffering. Am I wrong?
I agree. I just wonder if people are trying to normalize pain and terror. Like you're in the internment camp and you're still putting up little pictures of like, John was great today. John's picked more cotton than anyone else.
Yeah.
Good on you, John. You're doing a great job. Bringing some normalcy in there.
Yeah. Like doing like mat yoga. Like you have sort of mindfulness course. You know, like breakaway. Yeah, little activities, dude. A little raffle. Dude, it's a bit like when they stopped the war to play soccer and Christmas Day.
Armistice days.
Yeah, and you sort of want to have like a yoga studio in the war and a mindfulness clinic and a group meetup for people that are trying to quit smoking at Gallipoli. Hey,
yeah.
You've got AA. You've got an AA meeting in a foxhole where you're going to just keep having whiskeys after the bombs. Shell shock, and you're like, yeah, we're all experiencing that. 3 days sober, and then people don't come back, and you're like, yeah, you got blown up. Well, I guess he gave up. Then he died. He had quit.
It's like the inverse of that whole simulacra thing. Like even in really dire situations, people try and recreate
life.
Niceties that remind them of home. Like,
dude, imagine that you're in a Gallipoli and you're on a diet. You're on the keto diet. And you're like, I just want to trim up for the Christmas soccer game. And they're like, I'm having no carbs. And you're like, we've only got rice. And you're like, well, that's not going to work very well for my keto diet. I want to look good for the soccer game. Dude, what's going on with Hazer? It's fucking dropped down to 60 cents. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's dropped down 3 cents. Well, man, who cares? It's doing nothing, dude. This is a tiny... Why? What fucking CFD leverage position do you have in Hazer at the moment?
No, dude, I'm good to go. I've just got to get... I sold some and I'm just going to get... Talon's just got to give me fucking 20 cents so I can... Because I took a chunk in at 20 and I'd rather go in Hazer now, but they just not giving... They're trying to force you to take 19.5 to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's just a very annoying, it's a liquidity trade where they hold it in a position where anyone that has to pay their kids' tutoring has to take 19.5 instead of 20.
Did you see that that Bitcoin jump by like 12.5% the other day? It liquidated $221 million in short positions.
Dude, and you know what the speculation was? It's all down to that BlackRock EFT, right?
Right.
They're going to have exchange traded fund for crypto, and now it's gone. And the theory was that they needed some big people to be given some liquidity to exit. So it was a fake pump created by BlackRock. They're never going to do an exchange-traded fund for crypto. It's now been withdrawn. They just wanted to create some froth to exit some bigger positions. And now
more market manipulation.
the latest theory is it's going to tank at 35,000. They said now they're going to try and drop the floor out of it.
Who's they?
Well, BlackRock, what drove this was that it was going to, mainstream was acceptance, right? BlackRock was going to create a fund around it. Supposedly that's been withdrawn now. It was bullshit. It was never happening. And that's what created the foam. And the point was that it was, it's a very hard, I do not like people on Twitter going, bull market's back. I'm like, when do you get a bull market in this climate? Hyperinflation, fucking extreme cost of living crisis. The economy's totally fucked. Everything's fucked.
I mean, but that was COVID though, right? Like COVID was insane.
Yeah, but then like Bitcoin only went up as an insulator from inflation. The only reason it went up was because of hyperinflation, right? And it was a hedge. It was property and Bitcoin. It protected your wealth. Like, you know, it's a store of wealth. So people retreated to that. All it reflected was the increase in inflation with the fuckheads printing money. But you know what I mean? It didn't actually go up. It just held its value relative to inflation during that period.
I mean, yeah, but it did also like it wasn't exactly relative.
No, but what were we saying? We're talking about just before that.
Before what?
We're talking about this, the exchange, crypto. I don't know. I got sidetracked. I was saying that, yeah, it ran up. You said it ran up during COVID.
I said no. You said when do you get a bull market in this situation?
Yeah, you don't get it in this.
But COVID was a huge bull market for everybody.
Yeah, but what? It's like these crypto fucks. Unless it's outside of it, you don't say when the swell reading is at 0 meters, you don't get big waves. What I'm saying to you is that the climate is incorrect for a bull market.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. It's never ever happened. It might, because it's a deviation and it's a way of storing wealth, and people might revert to it, which has been the prophecy, right? That everyone's going to bail the monetary system because the government can't be trusted and move into crypto space. So that might actually be what's happening. But I'm saying it's definitely not a bull market. You don't get a bull market in this climate. It just doesn't happen. So I don't understand why people see it spike and then think, oh, we're going to have like upside for 5-7 years. It's a 7-year cycle. Like, we're not in the right space for anything to have froth in it.
Well, because people hope, man.
Except for maybe like gas and oil, you know, because of the potential war and the supply shortage there. But I'm saying to you, it's not, things don't move. Salmon can't swim against the, oh, they actually can. But you know what I mean? The boats move in the tide is what I'm saying. You can't have this environment and then say it's cake day. It's not going to happen.
But then what do you think about, what do you think about that horrible period 3 years ago when it was bull market, and it was mostly bull market because people had nothing else to do?
Yeah, I think basically what happened, it was the inception of a new product, right? So that it's like a new invention.
But
crypto,
it's not about crypto.
But I'm talking about crypto during that period ran against all logic, because it was basically like Uber Eats. People were coming to this new technology, so it was infinite growth, and then it hit a point where it matched the macro economy. So if the Nasdaq went down, it went down, and that was maturity in its growth cycle. And now it's hit maturity. But I'm saying it can go that next level when people forsake and abandon the monetary, the government, and move towards the crypto space for the store of wealth, which is how I can get to the 100,000 against. But I'm saying it's not driven by sentiment. It's a totally fundamentally shift in how people are, you know what I mean, storing their money.
Yeah.
And so it's the next level of the Uber Eats, of the technology, of the inception of it. I'm just saying to infer that it's the bull market and the macroeconomics that's bringing it up.
No, but they say it's a fuck. Every time there's a green candlestick, there are people online who are like, bull market, we're doing it, boys, we're going to the moon forever.
What I was saying, it can get to 100,000, but the reason it'd be going up is because the technology is moving to the next level of maturity, is when they abandon government, monetary.
Yeah.
And move towards that storing large money moves out. Like BlackRock decides, fuck that, we're going to hold Bitcoin instead of holding these fucking government bonds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't want to get caught on this because we're getting further and further away from the intention of this pod, which is talking about my stand-up.
Man, what about instead of having captures to log into the bank where it's like how many flights of stairs or like pick all the pictures with stoplights.
Yeah.
It's they're moral questions where it's like this train is going to run over 5 people. You pull the lever or run over one person and you get it wrong and then you can't log into CommBank.
Oh, dude, because that is always the question, right, of the villain. He goes, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill them and then it'll be on you. And I'm like, no, you're killing them. I'm just pretend I don't have any impact. I'm like, this is a fake scenario. Do you know what I mean? You go like, they create this decision point and I'm like, nah, we're not playing Saw the movie. Like, I'm out. Kill him. And then they go, well, that's immoral. And I'm like, no, actually, like, the proposition is immoral. I'm saying, you know how they have that philosophy of, like, do you divert the train? Like what you were saying.
Yeah.
To kill 5 people, 8 people. You morally shouldn't engage in that decision because that is the crime. The compromise of is to engage in a game that's determined by a villain.
Yeah. Now you can be manipulated.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, by immersing in that is to bend your morality. You should just say, look, I have no impact over your stupid game. I'm going home.
But what if you try to log into your trading platform, but before you do, you have to pick Israel or Palestine. And if you pick wrong, they don't let you trade. It's like, sorry, no.
Dude.
Morally, you're not allowed to trade on our platform anymore.
Dude, they should have stuff like that even for just bank loans.
Yeah.
You should get a better mortgage if you've been recycling. Like you get cheaper interest rate.
Yeah.
Because they go like, are you going to operate green, purple and red bins? And they're like, yeah, that's 1% off. We like that. You should.
Did you return your trolley to the trolley bay?
Did you see, maybe not Louis Vuitton, whatever that fucking big brand is, has now abandoned woke because their profits have been falling?
Who?
It's the underwear.
Calvin Klein?
No, the other one. I fucking don't know.
What about Honey Bidet? But it's bidets, not
That's good. No, but what's the one? What's the one?
It's a sexy ass cleaning device.
What's the underwear lingerie model?
Gucky. Victoria's
Secret. Victoria's Secret has been dropping, shedding. Their profits have fallen about 6 to 8% every year since they've been doing like the wheelchair ramp parades.
What? So ever since they've been doing diversity in their models.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm proud of them doing that, but I want to see like fat guys. They've not done that. Big boys.
No, they do that, man, dude. That's Lowe's, you know, like those are those.
Oh yeah, they do.
A TV ad will be like, "Are you a big boy? Do you have big boy legs? Get on down to Lowe's, you big fuck. Come get some big fuck shirts down at Big Fatty Fuck, fat and fucking tall store.
Yeah.
You fat fucker. Come on in, you big boy. Aren't you a big boy? Come get some big boy pants." They're all like that.
That's what they need.
That's what they do, man. That's what they do. Like every.
Do you know what I would do to be progressive? I would do like I'd put a pig in my lingerie and run that out, a greased pig, and they're like, "Is that even a person?" I'm like, "Is that a greasy pig in lingerie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're so progressive. We're doing that. That's basically a bin wrapped a bin. Do you know what I mean? An old kebab." Just fucking whatever, dude. A piece of asbestos with a G-string on it.
Man, because I reckon that's how they do the big and tall ones, and it's so good, man. They're so patronizing. It's all like,
Yeah.
Come on down to fucking Big John's big boy, tall boy, fat fuck store. Come and get some extra large underpants, you fucking goblin. Here you go.
Dude, that's what Victoria's Secret needs. A bogan in a G-string on a dirt bike going up the ramp.
Yeah.
He's got a mullet and he's got a bra on, and do you know what I mean? And he's eating something and just a Monster Energy drink, doing burnouts in a circle. Have everything, dude. Put it on. What can you put it on? Put it on just an idea. Just freedom. And you've just got a G-string hanging on the word freedom and drag that down with a rope. Unity. Peace on earth. Peace on earth, dude. I want to put a fucking dildo on Peace on Earth. Stick that on the front of a sign and drag that down a parade and go, love thy brother, love thy sister, and then have a bra on that.
Man, this is pretty good, dude. I'm reading some pieces that basically echo the sentiment that we made when they were originally putting out Victoria's Secret models who are like amputees or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is a crazy over-sexualization of something. Like, this is dangerous. This is bad. I think we were on we're on the right track, man. Now we've got the progressive left is echoing what we said in opinion pieces on The Guardian.
You're sexualizing it, and then suddenly, someone's trying to help you into the disabled lift, and he's trying to fuck the air pipe. Your breathe tube. He's got his dick out. He's rubbing it against the breathe tube because he's watched too many Victoria's Secret catwalks. Hey, it's suddenly getting all sexualized around all sorts of things. Do you know what I mean?
Because it's not actually inclusive. It's not real inclusivity to flip 180 and be like, sorry about before, guys, when we only had incredibly attractive supermodels in our underwear. But now for you, we have the freak circus coming out. Like it's so inclusive and so diverse that it looks like we're trying to stage a sideshow.
Dude, it does. It is like the bearded woman sort of thing in the old days, the circus or the big-headed thing.
Yeah, because it's one thing to have genuine representation, but it's another thing to be box checking and be like, all right, we need one with one arm. We're going to kill one in there with the one arm.
And dude, they don't understand. They don't understand how fashion and trends work, because if they push enough money in there, people will go and try to get blow off half their arm because they want to look like the magazine girl. Do you know what I mean? You're going can you just put a spike in my spine? I want to be in a chair for my partner. He won't. He can't come unless I'm in a wheelchair. Do you know what I mean? It's how fatness, skinny, it all changes the trend.
I need a little needle in my C5 vertebrae.
You put enough money into wheelchair porn, Victoria's Secret catwalk things, then suddenly people, they can't come unless you're in a wheelchair. And then you've got people, like you do at the airport where you pretend you're in that wheelchair and it's shocking. You got people trying to, oh, dude, what the fuck's going on with Hazer? It's plummeting down. It was up at 65, now it's at 60. I don't like that.
Dude, it's back. This is 62, man.
No, it's not, dude.
Where are
you? It's not nice.
What's happening?
I'm looking at the trading thing, and it's it's gone to 59.5 cents now on no volume.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble, Wolfie.
I've got to have to go off soon because I've got to make the last trades of the day and see if I sell at a heavy loss and then buy tomorrow at a higher price. Scramble for the exits.
Man, speaking of virtue signaling, I saw a great headline today. It said, Egypt official says, taken 1 million Gazans. This is to Europeans, like the EU. He's like, why don't you take in 1 million Gazan refugees if you care about equal rights so much?
Yeah.
He was challenging them. He's like, you give a shit about equal rights? How about you take in these fucking refugees?
Dude, it's so like the argument, if you love her so much, why don't you marry her? Do you know what I mean? It's like that. If you love it so much, why don't you marry it? That's what me and my boys ever said. Oh, if you love food so much, why don't you fucking marry it? Mm-hmm. It's, It was that classic where people were campaigning for refugees in London and the guy with the clipboard said, awesome. So you're available. How big's your house? We're sending in some Syrians. Yeah. And they were like, no. That's my fucking podcast studio room. We're not having a boy in there. And they're like, well, dude, you want to help? We've got a bus of them there. Do you have a spare room in your house? Oh, well, yeah, I do, but I like to do mindfulness in there and work out. I don't want I don't want to actually help. I just want to be on social media with this clipboard. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many of them were repulsed and going, well, not in our house. Someone else's, man. Because it's that idea of limitless money. That, you know, it's the liberal Labor thing. Like, some people want to spend on their credit card and just live for the now, and others want to try and increase their savings. But what I'm saying to you is everyone wants to help everyone, but unfortunately it's not free. You can't help everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not everyone isn't going to have a good life down here. That's the rule of the jungle. Do you know what I mean? There are not enough teats for all the piglies. You have to have a runt in every litter. That's my political stand. I go, there will be a runt in every litter. I'm like, that's why half of you are not getting healthcare. You're the runts. Is that wrong?
I think there are enough teats, dude. I think there are enough teats, man. I think it's about.
There's enough teats for every pig.
It's about
so
highlighting.
8 billion people.
This is just about highlighting hypocrisy.
Bugattis.
This is just about highlighting hypocrisy, man. It's just about going to the UN and being like, hey, if you're so about equal rights and democracy, why don't you call it fucking Taiwan when you get up there instead of the People's Republic?
Dude, I still argue with everyone. Are there enough teats for all the piglets?
Yeah.
And they are. So every, it's like Andrew Tate, where's your Bugatti? Every person's going to have a Bugatti and a yacht.
No.
In this planet.
No, that's not what I said. If you want to like retake Bugatti as a car manufacturer and make it public, then sure, we could make a Bugatti for every person because nothing's stopping it. There's no limit to resources or anything like that.
What I'm saying to you, is there utopia attainable on a finite closed loop system? Like, is it possible to have 8 billion people all living well? Can that happen? I don't think so.
I think so. Yeah, I think so, man.
That's crazy. So you actually think there's enough resources down here?
It's not crazy, dude. It's not crazy. It's not crazy because we haven't even started the basic thing, which is to start blood eagling from the top down, man.
Yeah. Well, that's
you know
fair
what I mean?
enough.
Like, let's
can take more money from the top. But
let's. Why don't we take any money from the top? Let's slit Elon's throat, and we'll keep going, and we'll see how far down we get, and maybe things get a little better. You know what I mean? Like, we can't be like, oh, there's nothing for anyone. Everyone's gonna have to struggle. We haven't tried the most basic thing. Let's cut some fucking necks.
I'd rather he had the money than Jeff from KPMG.
I'd rather skin some cunts, man. That's what I would rather.
You're going to. Dude, I cannot believe this entrapment of Hazer. It's plummeting.
Why on earth would you be arguing for the against the redistribution of wealth when you have so easily and readily redistributed your own wealth?
Yeah, but dude, I've always
own wealth, man. You've instituted a wealth redistribution policy on your own personal finances.
Yeah, but everyone is a dreamer. Everyone's a dreamer. Even the working class all believe in the dream of reaching your potential. So everyone likes Elon as a strategy because we all think things might change for all of us, that one day we'll be rich. And it's the same with all the comedians. You see it, right? They started selling out theatres, and I reckon you can tell their politics change because now once you've got 20 mil, they're suddenly like, maybe we keep a little bit more for us, huh? Do you know what I mean? Like when they're in the share house, they're all for community. But once they start getting 500 grand a month per episode, I guarantee you their voting starts to change. They start to go, maybe we don't want to give these fucking grubs as much money, right?
And this is what I'm highlighting, man. This is what I'm arguing against. There's no why not? Why don't we start cutting some fucking necks?
Dude, I've always talked about this.
Let's do some South African neckties, man. Tongue out through the throat, and we'll see how quickly things get better.
We've done that episode on storming Gina Reinhardt's property. I've always pushed for this. What I said to you guys, I always just play all sides. Man, I'm going to have to go. I need to work out what to do with Hazer.
Hey, where is it at now?
Well, because...
Oh, yeah, no, it is at 60 cents, dude.
No, but it's not a big fall, but it is when you're leveraged.
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
have to close out. I've got to go and make some decisions about here because I've got half an hour and I might need to try exit some Talon and insert some more Hazer.
Yeah, we'll start. Go. Let's go.
Mate, I might have to wind up because we've done an hour. That's enough. I've got to close this off.
All right.
And anyway, it's a horrible ending because we've had opposition in politics, but you've made the wrong error of thinking that I'm politically driven. I don't care on any side. I just played devil's advocate.
I'm not. I didn't make any error. I just argued against what you said.
Yeah. So we're both arguing, and I was fucking around because obviously in other episodes I've talked about Gina being a big fat whale, and we should kill her.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not an argument. I was just countering what you said. I didn't say
no. But my argument has always been that not everyone deserves a good life.
Right, and I was just countering what you said. I didn't make any accusations against you.
But people, and it was that point I made that your morality is a byproduct of your privilege, like the fact that you can be kind on this planet. At the end of the day, someone set up this system, and you must kill to live, and I hate that. But what is one to do? Everyone's existence comes at the death of something. Plants, animals, and I'm like, it's disgusting. It's the Saw game. I want to hug everything, but some motherfucker meant that to elevate, you must push down, and that is that sort of like, that is survival of the fittest, the laws of the jungle, and it's a sick, horrible simulation we live in, and I try my hardest to love and kiss and caress this world, but every day I live is because someone else died.
Yeah,
that
but
is the truth.
But it doesn't have to be, man.
What do you mean? What are we going to do? Live on sludge? I'm like, everything must be consumed to live. What else? How else do we live on this planet? Every single person today is ripping milk out of cows. You're fucking slaughtering plants, trees. Your little nut breakfast is a dead nut family. Everything's been fucking planted and shoved. When you have your little cheese, your fucking chicken sandwich at lunch, there's a dead fucking chicken, dude. Everything's, even you getting your house comes at the expense of a homeless family might want to have cooked bin sausages on your property.
But you don't have to push the homeless family down.
Yeah, you do, because you know what? You know why? Because the area you live in, where you've got your swimming pool, a tramp would have liked to lie there. And you stop them because you think you own that, and you prevent them coming into your area, and because of that, they're under a bridge. They might want to live in your backyard, and you have more than enough space to have them there, but you want to have peace and quiet so you can hear your little water fountain.
But there shouldn't be tramps, man. There shouldn't be tramps. We can just build, like, we can put more houses up.
Well, we can, man, because there's a limitless check, isn't there? There's not finite resources. You can just keep printing money.
And
it can just keep
There's
building.
not infinite resources, but we've not exactly run out, man.
There's enough money for everyone to have turkey sandwiches.
We can redistribute a lot of resources if we start slitting throats.
Well, I agree with that, but I'll tell you, we need Hazer to go up if we want to help any of these people.
We do need Hazer to go up. Man, I would like TPD to do fucking something, man. This is from breaking out last week to doing nothing at all week.
I'm very happy about it because I hedged out of Hazer into TPD. So now if I can exit TPD now, I can start buying into Hazer on this little shakeout for the close, and then I will win.
All right, you go buy your Hazer.
Okay, cool, dude. That's my tip of the week. Hazer coming hot into
Hazer.
Christmas.
Okay, all right. Hazer's fallen 5 cents, and that's what we're playing.
Anyway, this is the Patreon app, so we should advertise the Patreon. Thank you for joining the Patreon. You're in the Patreon. And we're still, imagine that, you're still getting ads for the Patreon in the Patreon app. And they're like, fuck, what the fuck? We're paying $8.50 and the guy's still going, like and subscribe to our Patreon. I'm like, I have. I'm getting the fucking, the exclusive Patreon app, and you're still doing Patreon ads, you asshole. Anyway, dude, I hope that Kumbaya is possible.
Yeah, man, it's probably a little bit more possible than it is now. You know.
Well, I think maybe you should let some people into your house, dude. You got plenty of room.
I do,
in your
man.
house.
I let open micers in my house every fucking week, dude.
Yeah, well, you don't let them graze freely in your kitchen and help themselves to food. It's limitless.
That's weird. They do seem to do that, actually.
Actually, I did have some of your Harbro lollies up on the right.
Yeah. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I had a handful. I did have a handful without asking when I was very desperate and couldn't get food and it was the middle of the night and I needed a sugar hit and I'm sorry. I left some coins as well somewhere. I dropped some.
You didn't leave any coins, man. There's no coins. But
you would have got my thank you card.
No, that seemed to go missing as well.
You know what my thank you card was? An unflushed shit in the toilet. People go, did you get my thank you card for letting me stay here? And you're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, that's skid mark. Thank you. Bye-bye. Come again. That's nasty. That's just joking, dude. I do appreciate everything you do. But I'm very angry to see Hazer take a dump.
15